Welcome back to the fantastic week of the starting lineup. He is Kip Keefer. He is the legend. I am Tony Curry at you every Saturday morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock right here on ABC 3340. College football right around the corner. Some big meetings this past Saturday. We'll talk about that. Tim Brando, he had to ask his wife first. He actually said, listen, I have to ask the wife if it's okay if I come join you because since he's not working right now, he's got a lot of honeydew stuff he's got to do. But he's supposed to join the show next week. So Tim Brando will be on to talk about what's going on. And, of course, the March Madness continues with the SEC basketball tournament. One Miami of Ohio lost their first game a couple of days ago. 31-1. And we'll talk about that the last segment. But do they get in? We'll talk about that in a few minutes. In the meantime, Greg Sankey had quite the big stick because he was on with one Paul Feinbaum earlier this week, and you had some things you wanted to get into.
Yeah, I'm interested in what Legend's thoughts are. Mine are, he looked like a beaten man to me. I've never seen Greg Sankey with that kind of persona. He seemed kind of run down and not depressed, but was kind of like talking in circles, a lot of between the lines stuff about his frustration. I think the Washington experience just didn't really sit very well with him because I think he, better than a lot of people, realizes the complexity of the situation. And, you know, I don't want to rant on and on, but he's also getting a lot of blowback for agreeing to this 9th conference game, guys, when the SEC did not see the tournament expanded to 16 teams, which was promised to him. Petiti wanted 24, and he didn't get his way. So Petiti has really kind of emerged now as the big dog in the pen, and I don't think Sankey has taken that well. And I pointed this out a couple of times to people this week. The other thing you got to remember at this 9-game schedule, the SEC and the ABC ESPN deal a couple years ago agreed to have a compulsory, mandatory game with another Power 4 conference team instead of just a cupcake game. So in essence, they've got 9 SEC games and this other Power 4 game. But the thing about it is the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the ACC do not have that requirement.
Well, the truth of the matter is, who does it benefit? The Big Ten playing 9 games or the SEC having to play 9 games? I mean, if you're playing the difference to say between a Rutgers and a Vanderbilt, I got news for you. It's much difficult to play 9 SEC games, though, Legend.
Did Sankey look kind of downcast to you?
Yeah, I think Sankey is running into a situation where the Big Ten commissioner is not agreeing with him on the future of college football. And they're the 2 most powerful figures in football, the Big Ten commissioner and the SEC commissioner. And it's causing a wild, wild west effect where all of us don't know what the hell's going on, Tony.
No one's talked about the ACC and the Big 12, although they were represented there, obviously, with their commissioners at that big showdown Saturday in Washington, D.C. And I wonder what their thoughts are. I don't like the 9-game schedule because, I mean, we see the SEC every single week, and I realize it's one of the toughest conferences to play in. I love the non-conference games. Now, I don't want them playing Middle Tennessee State. I like to see some of those games, but I love the Chick-fil-A kickoff bowls. I love some of those earlier games in the season, much like they do in college basketball where they have all kinds of tournaments. So if you're going to be picking that, but if you look at a team, say, like Ohio State this past year, who they played Texas, did that behoove Texas to play Ohio State that first game of the year, despite the fact they lost by 7 points? They didn't get in. So you could certainly make that argument by making those arrangements to play bigger teams. Sometimes it doesn't always bode well for you.
Well, you have to also look at some other factors in this that Sankey's getting a lot of blowback from his own personnel in the SEC. The coaches and ADs are very unhappy. And now the college presidents are starting to say kind of quietly that, you know, they're not going to get all this fixed. It's out of control. We just need to start thinking about breaking away and doing our own thing. And Sankey has been a guy who's been involved in college athletics his whole career. That's just not what he wants to hear. Where Tony Petiti, his counterpart, comes from TV, and he's a big money guy. He wants private equity. He wants all investment. He wants the biggest deal possible. He wants to make the big score. We've got really kind of a power struggle going on there, and Sankey's losing right now.
I think that you may have a point there. The fact that Petiti actually got his way on something, I think, is really, really interesting. We all know Greg Sankey. I've interviewed him many times. He's a stellar man. He's a wonderful guy. He's one, but you know, with great power, Legend, comes great responsibility, and perhaps he's feeling a little of that brunt right now.
Well, this nonsense about breaking away and doing their own thing. Let me speak in behalf of fans all over the Southeastern Conference. We have no desire to watch Alabama play Georgia in the SEC Super Bowl while Miami's playing Ohio State in another part of the country. So, Greg Sankey, squash all that. We're going independent by ourselves. You go independent by yourself. Leave the SEC the hell alone to compete with the rest of the world of college football.
The one guy who I'll always listen to, and he should be the commissioner, and we know who I'm talking about, Nick Saban. He had the microphone more than anyone else this past Saturday up in Washington, D.C. He said it best. Listen, I like to do two things for my players. First of all, I want to make them better men, and I also want them to play college football for Alabama because it's Alabama. You also saw Coach Oates say that the other day. He said, listen, are we competitive? He's asked the question, are you being competitive in the NIL? In other words, are you making the same kind of money as the other conferences? And he kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit and said, listen, I want players that want to play for Alabama. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter. Players want to get paid. And if there is a difference between making $50,000 for Alabama or making $100,000 at Michigan, you better believe you're probably going to be losing some players. So the money's got really, really important. I also think a big thing they need to figure out, like we said, once you've gotten halfway across the bridge, you got to finish the track. You got to continue. They need to figure out the salary cap, figure out and find out who's, of course, taking advantage of that and who needs to be, of course, in trouble for going way past it, because there's some teams that are blowing past that $20 million every year.
No question about it. Legend, I like what you said on the radio last Saturday. What you would have done if you were in Washington, you wrapped it up by saying you were going to pull two guys aside and really bash in everybody else and repeat what you said on the radio.
Yeah, it was just nonsense in Washington last week. I would have took Saban and President Trump to the side, said, y'all sit over here with me. I want to talk to the rest of the morons in the room. And just let them know that many of you sitting in this room are responsible for the mess that is college football. And now you're up here telling me how it ought to be fixed. You create a problem. Don't tell me how to fix it. I need somebody else to figure out how to fix a problem when you created it.
Donald Trump also said there was a $17 million quarterback out there who I'm still trying to find. I'm trying to find some 70. I don't think anyone's getting $17 million yet. $17 million. That would pretty much blow the cap off right there, but he may have been a little wrong on his numbers. ABC 3340, we do it every single Saturday morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock. March Madness, SEC basketball tournament. The AAC is in town down at the BJCC. And should the Red Hawks of Miami get in at 31-1, we'll get into it here by the end of the show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Birmingham Racecourse Casino starting lineup. Kip Keefer reporting not from Las Vegas, but you might think. I was there a few weeks ago and we had some starting lineup segments. Nope, not in Sin City, not out in the desert. I spend a lot of time there, of course, because my son Case, one of the stars of the starting lineup, is the editor of the sports department of the Las Vegas Sun. Both my grandchildren are there, but I'm not in Vegas today. I am right off I-459 at Derby Parkway in good old Birmingham. This is what you have available to you right here in your hometown, the most exciting gaming facility, frankly, that I've seen in quite some time. I spend a lot of time in Vegas. I've been in all the major casinos, but as far as the gaming floor, the sights, the sounds, the visuals, this is an outstanding setup, as good as any place I've been in the gaming business in my long career doing racing and gaming. So I've got a lot of people telling me that knows I've been associated with this for many, many years, that, well, I haven't been out there in a long time. If you haven't been out here, well, you haven't been out here, period, because it's a total transition, a transformation to a brand new kind of entertainment, and they have done a world-class job. This is as good as it gets. Outstanding, big jackpots, chance for life-changing money, just a great night in excitement with all the lights and bells and whistles that come with it. It's like being in Vegas without even having to leave the city limits. Absolutely outstanding. And this is just the beginning. A world-class resort just down the road in the plans, including quality high-rise accommodations in terms of a hotel, great food options, entertainment facilities that will take care of concerts and different shows of all kinds. Even a big thing in Alabama, sports betting may be coming soon here on a legal basis. It's going to be fantastic. So much to be excited about in the future. But the great news is right now, 7 days a week, day and night, you can be out here and enjoy this world-class entertainment. And just look around. There's so many places to check out, so many different kinds of machines. It's just absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't been out here yet, make a point to get out and see us. Again, right off 459, Derby Parkway is the spot. The Birmingham Racecourse Casino. We're going to be doing a lot of great shows from here for the starting lineup, and we are proud to be associated with such a fantastic group who really knows how to put on the show and give you the ultimate night of entertainment.
Man, I would take every penny I got. If I was a star athlete today, I would start out at Michigan. I'd go to Ohio State, and I would end up at UCLA, USC, Notre Dame, and finally at Alabama, laughing about all the money I had stole from them other teams. And before I got to my real destination, we cannot blame the player. I heard somebody say yesterday, this is the player's fault. This ain't the player's fault, man. This is the idiots in the room that gets paid $2 or $3 million a year that's supposed to be getting paid to come up with some solutions and rules, and now they're in Washington, D.C. begging the president to help them out. I just don't understand people that's supposed to be in position. We give Charlie Baker $2.8 million a year to be the president of the NCAA, and he doesn't do nothing but go to Washington to try to get the problems fixed that we paid him to fix. I mean, what the hell is going on? Somebody explain it to me.
In Legend, here's what makes it even worse. The NCAA created this disaster. If they had let athletes get what was going to be really minor compensation for the true use of their name, image, and likeness in the EA Sports game, all of this, I think, could have been averted. All of this started, Kip, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't it all start with lawsuits because of the NCAA prohibiting EA from paying players?
Yeah, the EA and
Ed O'Bannon.
Yeah, the EA and the players themselves started filing suits, and that was really the crack open of Pandora's box, and then it was thrown wide open. The lid was ripped off, and now we're living in this nightmare because the NCAA, instead of recognizing, and I've said it 1,000 times, the inevitability that this was coming, put their head in the sand and said, nope, these are student athletes. They can't be compensated. They got to be amateurs. They can't be professionals. And they fought it tooth and nail, paying millions and millions and millions of dollars to lawyers to keep filing more and more suits, getting it all the way to the Supreme Court. And Legend, it was a close game in the Supreme Court. 9-0 was the vote in favor of the players being compensated. When's the last time this Supreme Court voted 9-0 on anything?
Yeah, well, you're at the point where I keep hearing, on Paul's great show, the Feinbaum show, you hear 8 million suggestions how to fix it. But my problem is the people that can actually fix it are asking someone else to fix it. So why did I hire you if you can't fix the problem? We hear how great a commissioner Sankey is and Bettini is. These guys are just revolutionary, great, brilliant people. Why can't these brilliant people fix it? Why can't you come up with a plan? Well, you going to get sued? Well, you're going to get sued anyway. You're going to get sued if you go left. You're going to get sued if you go right. But here's the problem. Do something. Do something, even if it's wrong. Do something. Stop telling me about how you can fix it, but you never fix it. I just disgusted. If I was there yesterday, I would have snapped on everybody but the president and Nick Saban. I said, y'all two come over here with me. I'm snapping on the rest of these folks right here.
This is Game Time with Kip and Terry on Jocks 94.5, the Jocks mobile app, and wherever you stream Jocks.
Welcome to the Legend Cave. I am the legend, the 5-time Paul Feinbaum Caller of the Year. And here in the Legend Cave, every once in a while, we like to talk about the state of the Alabama football program. This past week on the Feinbaum Show, an agent came on and said that it's well known among agents and yes, college football has agents, Jerry Maguire now. It's well known among the agents of college football that Alabama likes to shortchange people. They like to get people on the saving discount. Give them less money because, hell, we're the University of Alabama. If you play for Alabama, you ought to take less money to play for Alabama. I want to say something to Greg Byrne and to Coach DeBoer. 365 days a year! 365 days a year! I'm a part of this, baby. And you are too out there. 365 days a year, it means something to you. Now, Greg Byrne, I don't care if you got to go to Cadillac, Coca-Cola. I don't care if we had to put a Coke emblem on one side and a Budweiser sign on the other side. You need to catch up in the $40 million club and become a part of the big boy. We're talking Alabama. Why do I get so upset, ladies and gentlemen? Because this is the greatest helmet ever in college football. And this helmet alone ought to bring money in from Europe, Canada, Spain. I don't care. Mexico. I don't care. We ought to be able to bring in money to get any damn player we want to get. We ought to get the best left tackle, the best quarterback, the best running back. What we don't have at the moment is the best AD, evidently, Greg Byrne. Because here we are again. I'm seeing Alabama can't afford a running back that Texas could afford. Alabama loses a player to Virginia because they can't afford him. Alabama loses a player to Ohio State because we can't afford him. Tired of it. This is the greatest emblem ever, Greg Byrne. Wake the hell up down there, Alabama. If Greg Byrne can't bring in the money to bring in the big players, it's pay or play, Jerry Maguire, baby. Show me the money. And Greg Byrne, you ain't showing it, baby. You either need to wake the hell up or move the hell on. That is the Alabama Report in the Legend Cave for this week.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino turns dreams into reality. Like Roger M., who just won over $51,000. And Rebecca, celebrating a life-changing jackpot of $160,000. You could be the next to dance the Icky Shuffle with a big win.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Don't miss your chance to be our next big winner at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Hey, it's Case Keefer back again for another edition of the Vegas Heaters as part of the starting lineup. Missed you the last couple weeks, but back now and ready to get back at them. What a week, so much going on. NFL free agency, of course, the start of March Madness, all these conference tournaments, the Players' Championship and golf. Unfortunately, the timing of when we film this, it doesn't do great to jump into all of it, but I'm going to do the best I can. Certainly we'll have some NFL thoughts later on, but still not football season yet, so let's focus on the latter two. Starting, of course, with college basketball. Now, I don't know who's playing today quite in the tournament, but I thought I would share, since I know this is an SEC show. You've got the SEC tournament going on down there. The two futures, I bet, in the SEC to win the tournament. Look, I love Florida. I love what they've done. I'm actually way higher on them this year than I was at this time last year. Obviously, that ended up being wrong, but I bet on them a lot down the stretch. I still can't get to them as like a minus 200 futures favorite in this tournament. That's as high as I saw them here in Las Vegas, so I wanted to take some shots against them. I did that, and I think one of the teams I took with to win the SEC tournament is going to be a big hit among this crowd. I took Alabama at plus 750, best price I saw all week, and I also took a sprinkle on Vanderbilt at 12-1. As far as Alabama, I more wanted a team from that bottom half of the bracket. Now, if it was just talent and nothing else, I think Arkansas is who I would be more honing in on. But Arkansas, I'm a little bit worried about Acuff's injury. He's not full strength. I know they say he's playing anyway. I just like Alabama's path with that in mind. I think easily they could get to the championship game. Then you got plus 750. You have some hedging potential. Probably not something I do. I just let it ride. But I did end up betting the Crimson Tide. I haven't been that high on the Crimson Tide this year. In fact, I think they could get upset early in the NCAA tournament. So I guess I'm spoiling the goodwill I already built up, but I like this draw for them, so I bet them. And as far as Vanderbilt, another team I've been really high on, I think they underachieved a little bit in the SEC, but I think they're dangerous. When you put coaching together, style of play, I like them in the tournament format. Both these teams could be out by now. This is a totally moot point, but I just wanted to touch on basketball in some way, and those are two teams that I am targeting in the SEC tournament. I liked the way the draw broke out. Who knows? Hopefully they're both playing in the semifinals today. I can tell you I will probably like them in their respective matchup. College basketball has been a big part of my betting portfolio, especially the last 2 years, maybe my highest ROI sport. But my bread and butter, if you go back longer, for the last several years since I've been doing this seriously, standing alone, number one has been golf. And we have the first, not really a major, but the PGA Tour is branding it as a major down there in the Jacksonville area this week. The Players Championship, biggest purse in golf, $4 million to the winner. We've really seen the stars rise in recent years. Rory McIlroy, of course, wins the playoff last year. Scotty Scheffler the 2 years before. However, I think that's a little misleading because this course is just really hard to master. Should be a lot of randomness. You know, we've also seen like 500 to 1s win in the past here. So I did want to look further down the board. I'm going to try to beat Scotty Scheffler, not at his top right now. Rory might even be withdrawn by the time you listen to this. Of course, he's having some back problems. I know you can't really bet right now who I bet, but I am going to look forward to the Masters. We already have Tommy Fleetwood at 40 to 1 to win the Masters. I think I gave that out even like December. He's not playing great right now, but I made my second Masters bet this week on the heels of the Players Championship. Remember last year in the Players Championship, in this same segment, I gave out Colin Morikawa to win. I'm back on him again this year. It makes me a little uncomfortable just because everybody seems to be on him. He is playing outstanding. He finally got the win monkey off his back, hadn't won in almost 2 years, and did it at the American Express earlier this season. I just think this course sets up so well for him. I know he's played poorly here in the past, but again, course history doesn't really translate at the Players Championship. It's different year after year, so I do like him if he's still in contention right now, but really where we can lock in a bet right now is the Masters. Now, I bet at Colin Morikawa to win the Masters at 30 to 1 this week. That's a little bit of a crazy price. It was just kind of one rogue sportsbook here that had that, but he's still in the 20 to 25 range at most sportsbooks, most futures. If you look towards the Masters for next month, I think anything better than 20 to 1, he is a bet. So something I like to do year after year in this spot is build our Masters portfolio. I believe we've hit at least 2 in a row, maybe 3, probably 2 in a row, 3 of the last 4 years. On the starting lineup or various forms of this show. I've given out the Masters winner. So there are our 2 so far. Tommy Fleetwood long ago. Still think he's worth it if you can get better than 31, but we bet him at 40 to 1. And Colin Morikawa this week. Let's go, Colin. Win the Players Championship and then go win the Masters for us next week. Thanks for joining for another edition of the Vegas Heaters. Let's see what the rest of the guys in the starting lineup have to say.
Warning! This program contains irrefutable facts, unapologetically biased opinions, and shameless homerism for the Southeastern Conference and its teams. Misguided fans of other leagues and teams may find some of the information in this broadcast to be disillusioning, deflating, or even offensive. You've been warned. Kip, Terry, Tony, Legend, Case, and our special guests, we own the airwaves. Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. on Jocks 94.5. It's game time. Saturdays, 10:30, ABC 3340 television. Get ready for the SEC on ABC and get in the starting lineup. And on Sundays, 9 a.m. on Jocks, it is Kip and Terry after a great day of football. The morning after. Football weekend. Total information domination.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino turns dreams into reality. Like Roger M., who just won over $51,000. And Rebecca, celebrating a life-changing jackpot of $160,000. You could be the next to dance the Icky Shuffle with a big win.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Don't miss your chance to be our next big winner at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
3, 2, 1, ignition and liftoff. We have liftoff of Season 9 of The Morning After. Terry Quillian and Kip Keefer at the controls, delivering a payload of unlimited, invaluable information and entertainment, pinpoint analysis, and unique perspective unavailable anywhere else in the universe. A supersonic show in an orbit all of its own. If you love college football and fun, get on board. Boldly going where no football show has gone before.
Hipster, are we there yet?
On our way, Tare. Definitely on our way.
One of our brand new sponsors, Masters Carcella's Alabama Taekwondo. It's AlabamaTKD.com. Alabama TKD. We're going to be breaking some boards in here, baby, the next couple of weeks. Whoa! Master Scarcella could put his hand through that Auburn helmet. Of course, my son's also a black belt. Thanks to him. It's a fantastic organization. AlabamaTKD.com. Check it out. It's fantastic in martial arts. Also, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Birmingham.woodhousespas.com, Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. They do wonderful work. And of course, our little gambling site we do. It's a handicapper show is what it is. It's K4Wins.com, K4Wins.com. Speaking of the devil, the Miami Redhawks lose their first basketball game, believe it or not, in the MAC tournament. Everyone kept saying, do they need to win out? Bruce Pearl felt like they had to win to get in. He does not think they're worthy of an at-large. Your son, Case Keefer, who's on the show every single week, said that Auburn would actually be favored over Miami on a neutral site game. Asked the question, does Miami get in or not?
31-1, it's hard for me to keep them out, but Legend can pontificate on this a little bit more because their conference is really weak, but it's their non-conference you've got a little problem with, Legend.
Yeah, I noticed they played Indiana East and beat them by 80 points.
By 80 points?
I didn't know there was ever.
If you had Indiana East plus 81, you lost.
Really? I'm like, they look to play every small college in the nation they put on their non-conference schedule, but still undefeated in the conference. That's pretty good. I mean, hell, they're going to put Auburn in. Why not put in this team?
Yeah, 31-1. And I was trying to think back a few years ago. I mentioned, I think it was Manhattan that went 31-2 or 31-3 and did not get in because they didn't win their conference tournament. The MAC's always been pretty well represented. There's usually about 5 or 6 teams, and there's always one that gets the Sweet 16. It seems like, I tell you, the one conference that is really surprising to me is the Big East this year. St. John's, Villanova, UConn, only 3 teams in. The last 4 years, they've had 38 teams in the last 4 years, only 3 in this year. So another difference, and of course, the SEC right now appears they're going to be getting 11 teams in as of right now. So it should be something else.
And the ACC ain't what it used to be.
No, in football and basketball. I don't know what, I'm starting to wonder myself, is it the dollar? Is that what we're talking about? I mean, someone said maybe it's because the Big East is not raising enough NIL money. I would hate to think that we're not going from 10 to 3 teams in March Madness just because that conference isn't as wealthy as a Big Ten is.
Leadership. Jim Phillips, the commissioner, last Friday in Washington, Mr. President, we desperately need your help.
No.
I mean, come on, man. You're the commissioner of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Don't be up there begging for help from the president. He's got better things to do.
It seems the ACC basketball conference has went much the same route as the ACC football conference, and that's downhill, Tony.
Well, at least the Clemson Tigers got some postseason flavor in their blood this year. They get to actually play in a postseason game as opposed to their football program. Tim Brando is going to join us next Saturday right here on ABC 3340. Kip.
Well, I hope you caught us this morning, Legend and I, on Jocks on 94.5 with Game Time. The First Lady, Terry Quillian, joins us not always this time of year, but we have really good shows, and we've become kind of the weekend refuge, Legend, for Feinbaum callers.
Yeah, 8 to 10 every Saturday morning on Jocks. Here, great Feinbaum callers, the Legend Kip. First Lady, hell, Tony Curry might even show up one day.
I may go back to my old studio.
We got to wrap it up, but also check out Kip Keefer Sports on Facebook and wherever you get your social media updates. We've got everything that's going on, and we've got plenty going on. Stick with us all year long right here on ABC 3340, the starting lineup.